Good evening and welcome to the Coon Rapids City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. If you could please rise and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's call the roll.
Councilmember Griscoviac?
Here.
Councilmember Rayrauer?
Here.
Councilmember Novak?
Here.
Councilmember Geisler?
Here.
Councilmember Armstrong?
Here.
Councilmember Carlson?
Here.
Mayor Cook?
Here. Thank you. All right, well, why don't we adopt our agenda so we can get started.
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Carlson, second by Griscoviac. Is there any corrections or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the agenda is adopted. And the very first thing we have is our Snowflake Days 60th Anniversary Proclamation. And we have members of the Snowflake Days Committee that will be present to unveil the winner of the 2024 Snowflake Days button design. So whoever wants to come up should come up. Probably it makes sense to go to the dais first and talk to us. Do you want, would you like me to start with the proclamation, or do you want to tell us a little bit first?
The proclamation says it has a little bit of an intro on Snowflake Days, so do you want to start with that?
Oh, so I should start with
Yes.
that. You're in charge, Tiff, whatever you want. All right. Coon Rapids Snowflake Days 60th Annual Celebration, a proclamation. Whereas the 2024 Snowflake Days celebration marks the 60th anniversary of the Coon Rapids Snowflake Days celebration, and whereas Coon Rapids Snowflake Days began in 1964 as a JC project conceived of the notion that the city of Coon Rapids needed a civic celebration the entire community could participate in, and whereas the 2024 Snowflake Days celebration includes numerous events over 3 weeks for all individuals, including a medallion hunt, Miss Coon Rapids Scholarship Pageant, Coon Rapids Royal Ambassador Crowning, Guns and Hoses Hockey Game, Snow Sculpture Contest, Mayor's Cup Simulator Golf Tournament, Disc Golf Tournament, Kids Cookies and Canvas, Chili Challenge, Community Parade, Winter Concert, Community Waffle Breakfast, Family Fun Day at the Coon Rapids Ice Center, and many, many other activities. And whereas Snowflake Days will kick off with the Mayor's Simulated Golf Tournament at Bunker Hills Golf Course on Friday, January 6th. And whereas Snowflake Days will culminate on Sunday, February 11th, with the Family Fun Day held at the Coon Rapids Ice Center. And whereas many volunteers, businesses, and community organizations have dedicated their time and talents to create this exciting winter celebration for the benefit of all citizens of Coon Rapids. Now, therefore, I, Jerry Cook, Mayor of the City of Coon Rapids, on behalf of the Coon Rapids City Council, hereby proclaim January 27th through February 11th, 2024, to be Coon Rapids Snowflake Days' 60th anniversary. Be it further proclaimed that all citizens are encouraged to participate in this community celebration and enjoy the numerous activities and events proclaimed this 16th day of January, 2024. Well, now I feel like I should just come down and meet you out front and give you the microphone, right? Or do you want to stand over there to start?
I like standing here, it's fine.
Okay. Again, whatever you want. Go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Tiffany Fick. I'm the Vice President of Snowflake Days. We are very excited because the last time we had a button design contest was on the 50th anniversary of Snowflake Days 10 years ago. So today presenting the checks is Sue Erickson, our 60th anniversary Snowflake Days marquee. Sue is a very active member of our community, so she's going to give a little bit of an introduction on herself, and then we will go forward with our button winners.
Sue Erickson. I've been in Coon Rapids pretty much all my life. I've been active in hockey, softball, many youth organizations like Coon Rapids Athletic Association. Been a member of the Community Strength Foundation. We do the tree lighting ceremony, the pumpkin patch, many other different events in the city. I love the city. I chose to stay here after after I got married. So needless to say, Coon Rapids is my city. So my kids chose to live here, most of them, or they work here, one of the two. So anyway, I'm really happy and excited to be the marquee this year for the 60th anniversary of Snowflake Days, especially when I participated as a kid in those snowflake events. So let's hope that we get some snow soon, at least a little bit warmer temperatures, but let's all just have fun and enjoy ourselves during this wonderful celebration.
All right, so the button contest, we opened that up earlier this year. I believe it was November. It went citywide to all of the elementary schools, all of the kids. It was ages 5th grade, I believe, through 12th grade. So we had some great applicants. It was really tough. We had a great panel of judges. So tonight we're going to present and unveil our buttons. So we had a first place, a second place, and honorable mention. We had a tie for honorable mention. So we have most of our winners are here. So we'll start with the first honorable mention was Emma McKenzie. She was unable to be here tonight, but this is her button. So the honorable mention winners each receive $50. So that's her button. Next up, we'll ask Evelyn Hill. She's our second honorable mention. Let's Steve, there's her button. She goes to Epiphany School and is in the 5th grade. So she's also getting a check for $50. All right. Next, we're going to go with our second place winner. So let's look it up there. Our second place is Anna Handeland. She's from Coon Rapids Middle School. She's age 13. And clearly art and creativity runs in her family because her dad was the snow sculpture winner last year. So. And our first place winner is Molly Siedschlag. Hopefully I got that right. She's a Coon Rapids High School student and she's in grade 10. A fun fact about Molly from Googling is Molly was also a fire safety poster contest winner when she was in elementary school, and she was also, I believe, a bus safety poster contest winner. So, you know, it was pretty uneventful that she won the button because clearly that runs, so. And Molly receives $100 and Anna receives $75. So the first and second place buttons are available for purchase. Those will be at High-10 Service Center, Jensen's, and City Hall, along with the button that the City Council is wearing. That's our city button as well. So people have 3 options to pick from for button purchases. So great job. Thank you guys so much for submitting your application or your designs. So next, I'm just going to touch really quickly on some of our Snowflake Days events. I'll just run through them. All of additional information can be found on the Snowflake Days website, the Coon Rapids Community Strength Foundation Facebook, as well as the Snowflake Days Facebook page. So starting us off on Thursday, January 25th, we have the Coon Rapids Royal Ambassador Crowning Program. That's exciting because this program has not happened since before COVID, so we're bringing it back. That is our beautiful Coon Rapids float that Public Works takes care for us every year, and they bring us to parades. So we will have that back. Tickets are $10, and that's at Coon Rapids City Center starting at 7 p.m. Something that's back by popular demand is the ice bar. So one of former Mayor Tim Howe found an ice carver that is currently carving the ice bar for us. It's actually being delivered on Monday to Chanticleer. Our ribbon cutting for the ice bar is Thursday, January 25th at 5 p.m. What's cool about that is that its home will stay at Chanticleer. So it will be lit up. It has Coon Rapids 60th anniversary emblem on it. It has Snowflake Days on it. It's pretty impressive. We don't want to show you the design yet because we want it to be a surprise at the unveiling. So that'll be at Chanticleer. One of our biggest events is the medallion hunt. So the winner for that receives $500. That'll go every day through Snowflake Days. It begins on Saturday, January 27th, and continues until it's found. The participants for that have to have a Snowflake Days button. So thankfully, they have 3 options to pick from this year. So. Next is our snow sculpture contest. So about that, if might be really small sculptures this year if you're participating, but so there's cash prizes for first through third. They must be completed by 11:59 on January 30th. Judging takes place on January 31st, and everyone must be pre-registered no later than January 29th. Like I said, the categories might be a little smaller this year unless we get more snow. But, oops. Next is our Mayor's Cup. That's on Friday, January 26th and January 27th. So awards for that will be on the 27th. That's at Bunker. We have Miss Coon Rapids and Miss Coon Rapids Teen Pageant, which is a staple in our community. That's on January 27th at Coon Rapids High School. Pageant begins at 4. Tickets are $20. A new game, a new event that we're very excited about is the Guns and Hoses hockey game. So that is Coon Rapids Police Department against the Coon Rapids Fire Department in partnership with the Minnesota Blue Ox right at our home at Crick. So tickets are $5 each, and the winner of that receives bragging rights with their department. So that's a big deal, and the Blue Ox have been phenomenal with that. Each team has custom jerseys, so that's going to be a great event.
How does that impact our workman's comp?
I'll make sure they sign the waiver before they get on the ice that says the city has no liability. But we had to tell the Blue Ox to take it down a little bit because obviously the play categories might be a little different than what they're used to for their junior league. Back by popular demand is the Chili Challenge. So that's moving locations. That's on January 29th at North Star Community Church, which is one of our new community partners. They offered to let us host it there, which we're very excited about. It's a beautiful church. That's from 5:30 to 7:30. And then we have 6 awesome community groups that are going to be making their chili. And what happens is people buy the ticket, they get to go in, they get to test every group's chili, and then whatever one that they love the best, they get that big bowl of. And then at the end, we have a secret panel of judges that'll go through taste test, and the winner also gets bragging rights for their community group, and I believe a cash prize. Next we have, which is sponsored by Coon Rapids Youth Hockey, that Sue's a part of. This is exciting. We have Snowflake Days Bar Bingo. So that January 30th is Muddy Cow, January 31st is Chanticleer, and February 7th is at Scoops. So I had talked to the Chanticleer GM, and he said that people are already anticipating this event at Chanticleer. So he's very excited, so that'll be fun. Next, we have the Community Parade and Food Drive. This is going to be great. We have city vehicles that are participating in this parade, and all of the vehicles will be lit up. So we provided thousands of Christmas lights, and each department is lighting up their vehicle. We're accepting food donations for ACBC Food Shelf along the route, so we'll be collecting those as well. That starts at 6 p.m., and the route can be found on the Snowflake Days website, but it is over by closer to the 4th of July parade road. Then we have, this is a new event which we're excited about. At the Coon Rapids Senior Center, we have a 60s themed event, and they have sold a lot of tickets. I believe it was 150 tickets already. So they're having kind of like a dance and a lunch, those kind of things with the drawing. So that's from 11 to 1 for any of our seniors that want to attend. Next, and this is free to the public, Winter Fun at Sand Creek Park. That's on Saturday, February 3rd from 10 to 2. A kids medallion hunt, which we're hoping we can have. If we don't have enough snow, we'll have to postpone that or find a different activity. Following the medallion hunt is cookies and canvas, outdoor skating, and games from 12 to 2. So that's free for any family to come out and hang out for the day, free of charge. We have Ice Bowl Disc Golf Tournament, which is February 4th, 8 to 12. That's a $20 entry fee per person. That's at Wintercrest Park. $10 of every $20 goes back to ACBC Food Shelf. So not only does ACBC, with that event, get money donated to them, but they're also collecting food. This is a great new event as well, Riverdale Snowflake Village. So we've partnered with Riverdale. They're bringing a phenomenal event. They have more activities than I probably have time to explain here at this meeting, but they have ice sculptures, they have a petting zoo, they have a photo booth, they have hot chocolate, pictures. It's going to be a great event. So that's from 12 to 4, and like I said, that's a new event with the City of Coon Rapids for Snowflake Days, so we're really excited that they're willing to put that on for us. Next is the Coon Rapids Arts Commission concert. That's $8 a ticket. That's February 8th from 7 to 8:30 at the Civic Center. We do not have the band name yet, so it's a surprise. Buy a ticket and find out who's there. The Flora. Okay, excuse me, I didn't have that information. So Next, this is going to be really cool, and if anybody is K-Fan listeners, so we have an adult comedy show coming to Coon Rapids at Bunker Hills. It's the Flop, Sweat, and Tears comedy show with K-Fan's Common Man, Meat Sauce, Tim Flanagan, and some other guests. So there's a social from 6 to 7:30 p.m. with the show from 7:30 to 9 at Bunker Hills Event Center. He's promoting it on his radio show, Dan the Common Man is, so if anybody listens to K-Fan, you can hear that. And finally, rounding out Snowflake Days is the annual free community waffle breakfast, which is on Sunday, February 11th, Super Bowl Sunday, at Coon Rapids Civic Center from 8 to noon. That is a completely free will donation breakfast with all money raised going back to the Coon Rapids Community Strength Foundation. And the Super Senior Clubs are selling baked goods also from 8 to noon, raising money for their cause. So just want to thank you all for your support and the community for the support. It should be a really great event. Additional events, additional details can be found, like I said, on the Snowflake Days website, as well as a Facebook page. I think we have upwards of 20 plus events and other events that I haven't even listed. So,
So, Tiffany, what is the Snowflake Days website?
so it's www.coonrapidssnowflakedays.com.
Okay.
And then the Facebook page is Coon Rapids Snowflake Days.
Okay. I do get a kick out of the fact that we can have a snow sculpture contest without snow, but we can't have a kids medallion hunt without snow.
You know what? The adults can be creative, but hiding a medallion in zero snow with a bunch of kids running around pushing each other over probably isn't a great idea. So we will make that call 7 days before the event, and if there's enough snow, great. If not, we will find another activity. But that just for our winner last year, he has to be really creative with a cup of snow. So.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson.
I just want to thank you, Tiffany, Sue, Diane, you, Mr. Mayor, for all the work that everyone's done in the committee. My gosh, look at all these events. I know it's a sick to you. It's a big deal. This is just fan. Look at all the community building and all the, the charitable acts we have going on. It's just so exciting, and it couldn't happen without people like you, our great committee. And I just want to thank you so much for everything that you've done and everything you do for all of our other events in Coon Rapids.
Thanks, Pat. It's great. I've lived in Coon Rapids my whole life, and this is it's a really great community. So this celebration should be no different. So hoping everybody can come out and enjoy some kind of event. It's open to everyone and every family member. So hope to see everybody there.
Sounds great. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Item 2, approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Your Honor,
Councilmember Novak.
move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes from the January 2nd, 2024 meeting. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstain?
That motion carries. One abstention, Councilmember Geisler. We have 3 items on our consent agenda tonight. The first one is to approve the final payment to Ti-Zack Concrete Incorporated for Project 22-6, Safe Routes to School, Northdale Boulevard at Coon Rapids High School. There were a few change orders for additional concrete required for the curb bump outs, supplemental flashing signs that were added, and additional pavement, and curb removals or replacements beyond what was estimated in construction plan documents. So we're looking to approve the change orders and the final payment to Ti-Zack Concrete Incorporated in the amount of $46,463.09 for Project 22-6, Safe Routes to School, SRTS, Northdale Boulevard at Coon Rapids High School. Item 4, which is the second item on our consent agenda, is to adopt Resolution 24-24, approving the Sustainability Commission appointments. Lynn Riley and Josh Zeller submitted applications to the Sustainability Commission. After discussion with the applicant, the Sustainability Commission supported Lynn Riley and Josh Zeller's appointments to fill vacancies with terms ending December 31st, 2025. So we're looking to adopt Resolution 24-24, appointing Lynn Riley and Josh Zeller to the Sustainability Commission and thanking them for stepping up. And the final item on our consent agenda is item 5 on this evening's agenda, and that's to approve final payment to Century Fence Company for project 23-61, City Hall fencing. We're looking to approve final payment to Century Fence Company in the amount of $38,200 for project 23-61, City Hall fencing. Councilmember Raybrower?
First, thank you to Lynn and Josh for joining the Sustainability Commission. And then I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Raybrower and a second by Geisler. Is there any discussion or questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Griscoviac?
just wanted to say, on the fence for City Hall, I know we had some iterations going back and forth, a couple on that, and we agreed on how that fencing was going to go. I know it's up. From a distance, it looks great. I was just going to reach out and maybe ask Chief Steiner what you thought of that fencing back there. Does everything meet your requirements for what we wanted to accomplish?
Yes, it's, had to work a few bugs out initially, but it's as delivered or as promised as I understand it. It's functioning just fine, and we're pleased with it.
Excellent. Okay, looks good from the outside. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Armstrong?
just a quick comment on the fencing as well. There was no additions to the budget, and they came in at budget. That's a great thing. Brought a tear to my eye to see that.
Well, sometimes there's change orders that bring it in less,
Yeah.
which is nice too, but, all right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, and the consent agenda is adopted. So item 6, so we don't have to do anything with this, we just have to let folks know that the public hearing on a vacation of Watermain Easement 10541 Woodcrest Drive Northwest, that item has been canceled for tonight because it's been determined that the Watermain easement has previously been vacated. So we're not going to give it a second vacation, apparently. Okay, one should be enough, all right. So that brings us up to item 7. Consider the 2023 and the 2024 insurance renewals and Resolution 24-26, establishing limited cleanup and property damage protection for sewer backups. Ms. Hanson, anything you want to hit on that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I just want to highlight just a few things as we consider renewal for property and casualty insurance. So the proposal we received from the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust includes similar deductible amounts as previous policies, so that's $50,000 deductible up to an aggregate of $200,000 and a $5,000 deductible for autos. The proposed premium came in relatively, I'll say it's a $2,600 increase over our last renewal, so that's good. This was a result, there was some rate increases, we added and removed some property, and then we also saw a reduction in our liability premium as a result of our decrease in our experience mod from the last year. As an option, the city can waive the statutory limits of $500,000 per claim and $1.5 million per occurrence. We are not recommending that at this time. We're also proposing to continue coverage, opting for the no-fault sewer backup. So this is a supplemental benefit that if homeowners don't have coverage or need help, there is a no-fault provision up to $10,000 based on claims if they experience a backup. And that premium actually is proposed to be reduced from the prior year as well.
Yeah, very, very modest increases if there was an increase, and in some cases, reduction.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Geisler?
I'll make a motion to authorize the following. 1, purchasing the insurance renewal through the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust. 2, maintaining statutory legal limits of $1.5 million per occurrence. And 3, authorize resolution 24-26, purchasing sewer backup liability insurance.
Second.
Motion by Geisler and a second by Armstrong. Is there discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Geisler?
Just as a side note, so we are looking at, as a city, to do this additional insurance for sewer backups. And I just want to make sure that all residents know that this is from your house out to the lines, that if there's something that would be your responsibility, that it is your responsibility if it happens in that line outside of the main, and that this is something that we as a city are doing in case that some of those situations occur. But you should review your own homeowner's insurance and have some sewer backup insurance, because this is going to be $10,000. If you have things in your basement, like a finished basement, $10,000 is not going to cover it if something occurs in that line that is your responsibility. So I always encourage residents to review their insurance coverage for that sewer backup, because you want to make sure that it's there for you if you need it.
Yeah, the short answer is it can be $60, $80, $100,000 and more if that sewer backs up into your basement.
Yep.
So this is just to make us feel better that we can help if it happens.
Yep.
It's not gonna cover most people's loss.
Your Honor,
Councilmember Novak?
that's actually called, and thank you, Councilmember Geisler, that's exactly right. It's called up, backup sewer and drain. Virtually every company offers it. It's very inexpensive, but virtually every company makes it an endorsement. You actually have to ask for it. If you don't, it's not going to be there. So please look for that, backup sewer and drain. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any more discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Kraskowiak?
I have a question for Director Hansen, and I apologize, I should have asked this, yesterday. I meant to do that. But, and first of all, I'm also pleased that the premium stayed flat. That's kind of nice. We're not seeing a whole lot of that year over year. But in the legal limit, you mentioned the statutory limits of $500,000 and $1.5 million. But the last sentence on there, I was wondering if you could just educate me on that. It says, the additional cost of adding another $1 million in coverage would be approximately $96,620. We are not opting for that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. That was my question. So wasn't sure why that was in there if we weren't going to discuss it. So.
All right, motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 8 is to consider resolution 24-2 of sub 8, accepting plans and specifications for the 2024 mill and overlay and full depth reclamation project and authorize solicitation of bids. And I think that Mr. Hansen gave us the routes last week, but we're looking at rehabilitating with a 2-inch mill and overlay Yellow Pine Street, both north and south of 114th Avenue, 114th Lane from Exeon to Cul-de-sac, 115th Avenue from Exeon Street to Cul-de-sac, 119th Avenue from Jonquil Street to the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad, and 9th Avenue from Coon Rapids Boulevard to 121st Avenue or South Street. And then they're looking to fully rehabilitate via full-depth pavement reclamation, Direct River Drive from Mississippi Boulevard to the Coon Rapids Boulevard Service Road, and 113th Avenue from Swallow Street to Hanson Boulevard. Additionally, they've developed a mill and overlay plan for Egret Boulevard between Coon Rapids Boulevard and the Burlington Northern Santa Fe Railroad tracks. Mr. Himmer, does that kind of cover them all?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, if I may just add, what Mr. Hansen was here for, previous council meeting was for street reconstruction. This is our maintenance program.
Oh, okay,
This is
very
mill
good.
and overlay, this is full depth reclamation. No assessments are proposed as part of this. This is we get out there early and try to get the good bids. We did have a couple projects, one with the city of Anoka, so we'll be back before we award this contract with the JPA that outlines cost share on that. Same thing on the mill and overlay with Anoka County. They're doing a mill and overlay project, so we just asked if we could piggyback on them, which they agreed to do. So again, there's no assessments as proposed as part of this. These are just our standard mill and overlay. If we would have touched utilities, or if we would have done the full depth reclamation and put the 3 inches back, then those would have been accessible. However, because of the condition of the existing underlying pipe material, we didn't think trying to do that full depth reclamation without doing the utility replacement. So we'll wait for the next round of reconstruction on that. But this is primarily our maintenance work aside from typical patching. We'll come back with the consortium where we talk about fog sealing and rejuvenators and things of that nature. But this is just what we would typically call our early season mill and overlay project. There's just a lot of them to do. So I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for the clarification on that. He wasn't here to do a show, so I figured that he must have already done one. Yeah, these are a great value for us. Gosh, I mean, they come in very affordable, and you end up with this beautiful street again, for at least 10 years anyway.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Ray Rower?
I concur with that. It is a great value, and it extends the longevity of the street. So I move to adopt resolution number 24-2, sub 8, accepting plans and specifications for the 2024 mill and overlay and full depth reclamation project, and authorize the solicitation of bids.
Second.
Motion by Ray Rower and a second by Geisler. Is there further discussion on this?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Griscoviac?
I would like to discuss maybe a little bit, just on one segment, and that's the Direct River Drive. The Direct River Drive route, that's a pretty well traveled route. A lot of neighborhoods in between Coon Rapids Boulevard and the river. And that, I drive that myself, and it's been in bad shape. It's been patched multiple times. It's ready to be redone, but I'm seeing that we're not going to redo it. It's not on the street reconstruction radar for another 10 years. I'm just wondering, why isn't it on the street reconstruction radar for another 10 years? And the reason I'm asking that is the mill and overlay is a good value. We do definitely get a good value out of that. But we also have that darn cast iron pipe under this road. And we've seen this before where we dig that up and we have the construction equipment in there, and then we break that cast iron pipe, and then we're digging through the mill and overlay and fixing the cast iron pipe. So my first question, I might have a few. My first question on Direct River Drive is, I remember just a few years ago, correct me if I'm wrong, but did we add Direct River Drive to our municipal state aid designation?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. So would it make sense, instead of the mill and overlay, to maybe use that municipal state aid money, move the full, the full depth reclamation on this road up a year and get it all done?
Councilmember Griscoviac, we could do that for the road portion, but we have the cast iron pipe. That's not state aid eligible. Those are city utility funds. So if you recall the utility rate discussion, we laid out that long-term plan. We've got big needs coming in some of the other areas in the city. So we're intentionally not dipping into that utility fund early to save and build some of those funds for later on. That's the reason why this isn't elevated.
Okay. And that makes sense. I mean, just to have that discussion, that makes sense, because we do have a lot of those big projects coming. And so, still, the concern is that we might damage some of those cast iron pipes. I mean, we probably have that written into our contingencies already with the mill and overlay. So, but with that, yeah, I'll support getting this done. That road is in terrible shape.
Oh, that could never happen, that those pipes would get damaged. That hasn't happened since what, Robinson Drive?
That down will not happen, says the mayor.
Well, and I think, yeah, and Direct River Drive started coming apart after we had that one season of, we put the seal coating down, and then we lost the surface on so many of those streets, and the street never came back from that. It just never really recovered.
And we don't do seal coating anymore.
And we don't do seal coating anymore. Okay.
And Mr. Mayor, I would say that by doing this, we're looking at another 10-year life out of that. We have a lot of runway here to plan for the full depth reclamation and then replacing that cast iron pipe. So makes sense for the city.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Do we have further discussion on this? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And that motion carries. Item 9 is to consider introduction of an ordinance rezoning office to general commercial, 3161 Northdale Boulevard, Oris Realty, maybe, LLC. Max, do you want to, you're there, you must have a dog and pony show for us.
Here, I have a dog, I have a pony. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Thanks, council members. So I have before you here today a request for an ordinance to rezone property from office to general commercial. This will just be the introduction of the ordinance. We don't need a vote of approval or denial today. However, I did want to explain the ordinance and have discussion on the ordinance today while we're introducing it, so that at the next meeting, when we do vote to approve or deny, we can just do that vote and not have to go over it again. So what's being requested is for the parcel at 3161 Northdale Boulevard. And that is a 2-unit office building at the corner of Northdale and 124th. The applicant has had challenges leasing one of the vacant office spaces. That space is the former Edina Realty. The other space that still has a tenant in it is the Park Dental, the Riverdale Park Dental. They found the American Red Cross is interested in the space for a blood plasma collection facility. However, the parcel is zoned office, and a blood and plasma collection facility is not a permitted use in the office zoning district. A medical or dental clinic would be a permitted use, but there is a specific use of blood plasma collection facility that would need to be in the general commercial district to be permitted. So the applicant, the property owner, the applicant is requesting to rezone the property to general commercial. The space, I believe, has been vacant for a few years, and I also believe this parcel was zoned general commercial in the past, was rezoned to office. And now they're requesting to rezone it back to general commercial. And it is guided commercial in the 2040 comprehensive plan under future land use. So here's a look at where the property is on Northdale and 124th. Google Maps street view of the property showing where the Edina Realty used to be on the west side of the building, and the Park Dental Clinic on the east side of the building. The surrounding zoning districts, so the other commercial properties to the north and to the west are zoned general commercial, whereas this property is zoned office. And then you have the park to the south and low-density residential to the east. And then here's the 2040 comprehensive plan guidance. So this is guided the same as the other commercial properties around it. They're all guided commercial. Generally, parcel who's guided commercial is zoned general commercial or community commercial or regional shopping. So it's rare that a property that is guided commercial is zoned office. Usually parcels that are zoned office are guided commercial mixed use or residential mixed use. So this change would be bringing it in line with other parcels that have the same land use guiding in the 2040 comprehensive plan. There are 3 criteria that the council need to consider in doing approving an ordinance to rezone a parcel. The first, the health, safety, order, convenience, and general welfare. Staff did provide a little bit of information on that. Notably that this use is similar to uses that are permitted in the office district, so what's being proposed would not be a major change for the parcel. The parcel is buffered from adjacent residential properties. I know it's a consideration that when you rezone to general commercial, even though a redevelopment or a major change in use isn't being proposed right now, that it could be proposed in the future. So it's important to note how this would affect adjacent residential parcels. And the building as it currently stands is over 150 feet from any adjacent residential parcels and would not be allowed to be closer than 50 feet to those residentially zoned parcels. So the effect on the potential surrounding land uses, currently no redevelopment is being proposed, and any redevelopment within the general commercial zoning district in the future that's not being proposed right now but would be potential and should be considered when doing a rezoning would be in line with the surrounding commercial area, as that is also all in the general commercial zoning district. And then finally, whether it is in conformance with the city's comprehensive land use plan. I did kind of go over that. The commercial land use guidance and the general commercial zoning district are meant to correspond with each other, so it would be in line with its guidance in the 2040 comprehensive plan. On December 21st, the Planning Commission did recommend approval of the proposed rezoning. So right now, I just have a motion to introduce the ordinance, but I did want to open it up for discussion. And then the actual approval or denial of the ordinance would be in the following council meeting.
Okay. How about if I open it up for discussion then? Anybody have any questions? Councilmember Novak?
Yes, actually, I have no problem with the rezoning, but I did have just a clarification, and I'm not sure if this is outside your purview. You said that this was going to be a blood donation site, correct?
Yes, blood plasma, let's see, the term wasn't donation, it's calling it blood plasma collection facility. I don't know if there's any difference between that and a donation facility, but collection is the terminology they used.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there one across the street at the Wells Fargo building?
I believe, well, I don't know off the top of my head, that it would be allowed there because that is in the zoning district that allows it.
Right. Okay, I was just wondering if that was moving.
It's a
Not to my
different
knowledge.
company, it's hard to say.
Yeah, good. Okay, just curious.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Max?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Ray Rower?
Thank you for your thorough presentation. It fits well with the commercial district around it, and very happy to have a nonprofit organization able to use that site that's been empty. So thank you. Appreciate it.
So, what would help me in the future would be if we put a list in there, what's allowed in general commercial, because like you mentioned, the building, we know what's there now. It's not reasonable that somebody's gonna tear it down and change it, I wouldn't think there. But general commercial could be like a car wash, couldn't it?
It could, correct.
You know, and so, I mean, those are the things I guess that the only thing I would think about is, you don't really want a car wash right next to that residential there. So I think this makes sense, I support this use, I wouldn't want to see the building get damaged and then see what they come up with, but. Okay, anybody else have any questions?
Mr. Mayor, I just
Councilmember
think
Stovall?
I think it's interesting that it was at one point commercial, and it seems like it would fit in the general commercial. So I kind of like where this is going.
Sure. All right, well, if nobody has any questions, then in planning case 2324, we will consider the proposed rezoning based on the following findings, that it wouldn't have an adverse impact on the surrounding area, the proposed rezoning is compatible with adjacent land uses and zoning, and the proposed rezoning is consistent with future land use guidance and policies of the 2040 comprehensive plan. So we will consider, where is it here? We don't have a number. We'll just consider the introduction of an ordinance rezoning, were you pointing to?
Blank case 2324.
Oh, okay. So we don't have a current ordinance, we have the planning case 23-24.
Correct.
We'll consider that one introduced. Was my rambling get around to what I needed to say, Mr. Brody?
Thank you.
You heard introduced?
Introduced.
All right, so if anybody has any concerns on that, make sure you reach out to staff or city council, and we'll be taking action on that, I'm sure, at the next meeting. We done? Excellent. Anybody here for open mic or public comment? Sounds good. Come on up, give us your name and address, and limit your comments to things about the city in 3 minutes. Before you start, though, I don't want it to count into your 3 minutes. Did the lake finally freeze over?
Yeah, actually, it did freeze over. There was sea smoke on it 2 or 3 days ago for the morning, so it was kind of cool. So I don't recommend going out there if you don't know where you're going right now. If you do know where you're going, it's iffy. There's been ice fishermen out there, and there was a couple snowmobiles out there this morning as well, or today, so. And they actually water skied the day after Christmas. Yes.
All right, I'll let you back at it. Go ahead, name
right.
and address, and then.
Joel
3 minutes.
Friday, 13127 Cary Street, Northwest. I'm here on behalf of Crooked Lake Area Association as the city watchdog. I've given each of the council members the Coon Rapids, or the Crooked Lake newsletter for your preview. One of the things that we go over in there is our continuous fight with the Eurasian milfoil. It did get the better of us this year. We did the treatment in 2016. That was very successful, and we've been doing spot treatments ever since. This year, after looking at it, there was enough out there that we said, we did some research, and we're going to do another whole lake treatment with fluoridone, which started in November and is going through the winter season actually this time to treat the lake. So we're doing 4 doses of fluoridone over the lake, and hopefully we can knock that back down again. Some of the other things that we've been able to accomplish is we've got us back to the A- level for water clarity out there on the lake, which is, given it was a C 10, 20 years ago. As a matter of fact, you guys closed the beach because you couldn't see, to be at an A- level is phenomenal. Part of that's, just the diligence of the Lake Association and the partnership with Coon Creek Watershed District the city of Coon Rapids, the city of Andover, Anoka County. Those partnerships are stellar. We, went through another drought this year, so we watched the lake levels go down. But with the fall rains, it's back up to what I would consider a normal level. So that part's nice. Just some of the things that are going on the lake, besides, whether the ice is safe or not. Every year we do an ice carousel. That was actually canceled for last weekend for some reason. Oh yeah, we didn't have any ice. Same thing with the snow sculptures. So the ice carousel is something one of the local residents does. He cuts a 100-foot diameter circle in the ice, puts a couple of trolling motors in there and gets that spinning. You can walk out on that carousel then and yeah, exactly. It's fun. I invite you all to come out when it comes again. So it's one of the fun things we do. Like I said, we were water skiing in December. We've got some professional water skiers on the lake, so they don't hesitate when there's open water to get out there and do that. One of the other things, we had the Lobster Dan ice boat last year, which was a success. Lobster Dan went out there, put his boat out there, and we all went and guessed when it would sink. So had a little fun with that. Yeah, we appreciate an interesting thing happened this year. Somebody took a picture of blue-green algae. I forwarded it on to the Coon Creek Watershed District, and about an hour later, I got a call from somebody on the lake saying, "Where's the algae?" And it's like, holy mackerel, that got around quickly. So the cities and the bodies went out there. There were signs at the beach instantly for that. It's nothing anybody tests for. It's just, if you see blue-green water, it's not a good place to swim, good place to keep your pets out of, things like that. Yeah, a couple of disasters on the lake this year. We had a boat fire, and towards the fall here, we actually had a boat flip. The whole boat and boat lift flipped over in the lake. So, but we had the, the polar plunge last year. They moved that over to Blaine now, sorry to say. So, be nice to get that back. And then lastly, I'd like to invite the council and anybody else that would be interested to come to our winter general meeting, which is Monday, February 26th at 6:30 at Legacy Christian Academy in Andover. It's right there at Bunker and where the boat launch is there. It's also known as Meadow Creek Church. So if you wanted to come and see what we're doing as a lake association, that would be great. Our association runs purely on donations from people on the lake. Anybody on the lake can voluntarily give $50 a year. Anybody off the lake can voluntarily give $35 a year as a suggested donation. And again, we appreciate the city's contributions towards the weed mitigation. I think Coon Rapids dedicates 40% to that each year on that. So we appreciate that partnership, and part of our ability to do the Floridone treatment is the partnership with the city of Coon Rapids and the city of Andover and other grants that we may receive. So thank you for your attention, and look forward to seeing you out on the lake, and please stop by to our meeting.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you for your stewardship with that lake. Anybody else here to address council for open mic? Come on up. Name and address, and then probably a little bit shorter, 3 minutes.
As you know, my name is Sue Erickson. I reside at 2189 123rd Lane. I currently am the gambling manager for Coon Rapids Youth Hockey. I've been a part of the hockey community here in Coon Rapids for more years than I want to count. Mayor, members of council, staff, tonight I am at open mic to ask the city of Coon Rapids to review and update their codes for gambling. Last fall, I called the clerk's office to ask if I would be able to put a pull-tab dispensing machine in Buffalo Wild Wings in Riverdale, and I would be able to have e-tabs there as well. I was told that we could make this happen, so I drew up a lease, received approval from City Council and the State of Minnesota Gambling Control licensing with all the documentation and providing e-tabs to the site. We opened the site December 1st. On December 20th, I received an email from the city clerk's office sharing that I was not able to operate e-tabs at the site, to my surprise. E-tabs is over 55% of my and most all charities' pull-tab business in the state of Minnesota. In order to break even or even make a profit at the site with a dispensing machine, availability of e-tabs to our customers is essential to having any success. I have been approached by another bar or restaurant in Riverdale area, which I would love to provide a machine and e-tabs as well. Their businesses are not as busy and could definitely benefit from the rent that I and other charities could provide. So tonight, I'm asking City Council and City Clerk's Office to review and to consider the number of sites a charity is allowed to hold for gambling permits in the city, to allow e-tabs for all sites, to align the reports and the checks the city tax to City Clerk's Office from the 20th to the 20th of the month. Right now, it's the 15th. And to align with the State of Minnesota Gambling Control Board's due date for our gambling monthly returns. Thank you for listening to me tonight. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you in advance to consider what I'm asking.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
So,
Do you have a question?
no, yeah, I had
Oh,
just
go ahead.
one, but, you know, so there was a longer list. Is that something that you can leave with staff or kind of give us that list of requests?
Sure.
You know, versus just listening back to the meeting minutes. If you've got it written down, that would be helpful.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
I'll be quick.
All right.
Mr. Mayor and council members, my name is Amanda Jackson. I live at 9935 Egret Boulevard in beautiful, cold Coon Rapids. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else unless it was a little bit warmer. I'm just kind of here to talk about e-tabs as well. Sue and I are colleagues, so I just kind of wanted to follow up as a resident on the ordinance. E-tabs have been around for quite a while, since 2012, and I'm not sure when the ordinance was put in about not allowing e-tabs at the same time as machines, but I would guess it was prior to 2012. E-tabs they make up 53% of all charitable gambling sales in Minnesota. I'm also a full-time gambling manager in another city, and I also serve on the Board of Allied Charities, which is a trade organization for charities in Minnesota. I think with the limit on how many sites organizations in Coon Rapids can have, that it's an excellent option for them to be able to have a pull-tab dispensing device at some of these locations where the sales might not be as strong. Minnesota charitable organizations face a large tax burden, and offering e-tabs is definitely a way to maximize sales. So I'm just here to double down on what Sue has to say in hopes that you guys take a look at those ordinances. Thank you.
Anybody else here to address City Council for open mic tonight? All right. We'll close that portion of the meeting, and we are to other business. I think our biggest thing coming up is Snowflake Days, and I think we pretty well covered that.
Thank you, too.
Anything else coming up? Ms. Lansmeyer?
Mr. Mayor, a reminder that absentee voting begins Friday for the presidential nominating primary, and we will be open here at City Hall from 8 to 4:30 if you're ready to go, starting on Friday. If you have questions, you can check the website or the Secretary of State's website at mnvotes.org, or give us a call at the clerk's office and we'll help you out.
Very good.
Your Honor,
Councilmember Novak?
a question regarding that, Ms. Lensmeyer. How are we sitting for election judges?
Mr. Mayor, Councilmember Novak, quite well.
Excellent.
This community really does respond when asked to serve.
That's great to hear.
All right. Other business to come before council?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Carlson?
if we have no other business, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, just hang on 1 second. Mr. Stemwell, anything? We're good with that? All right. I'll
Second.
accept that motion to adjourn.
And I will second that.
We have a motion by Carlson and a second by Geisler to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And we are adjourned.